It's yarn, Claire. Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. I don't know why this thing is so. Usually it cuts off my head. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm too far away. Usually I'm right here, right? Why is my head cut off when I'm right here? That feet. Maybe I need. Hold on. I'm not messing with this, so I don't know. There we go. It wasn't back far enough. There we go. So, welcome back to So Bad It's Good Cinema. So we are doing Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie. There's a fly in here. So in this movie, after saving Traumaville once again, in the Toxic Avenger Part 2, Melvin is now a hero, but he's come back to normal life, and now there is this breakthrough surgery, laser eye surgery they can get to restore Claire's vision, but they don't have the $375,000 to do it, so he gets a job with Apocalypse Incorporated. I don't know either. He gets a job with them to pay it off, and now has to face down when he realizes he has to face the evil chairman, once again played by Rick Collins. When he realizes that they're not doing good for Traumaville. I don't know. Was this supposed to be the second film? And they just added stuff from the second film? Maybe they started filming this first or something. I don't know. Because how do you not know who the Apocalypse Inc. is? Right? Although, with the way this ends, there's no way it could have continued to the second. I don't know. It's just very weird. It's very weird. So we start off with showing what happened in the previous two films. Which is weird because we have footage of Mark Torgl as Melvin Junko, Melvin Junko. Melvin Ferd Junko, whatever. Well, though later he'll be placed with a different actor. They use the flashback and they show that Mark Torgl. They show what happened in the first one, they show what happened in the second one, and then we get this opening that is reminiscent of the taco shop scene in the first one, where these three guys come into the video store and start causing mayhem and havoc. On behalf of Apocalypse Inc., you have to only watch Apocalypse videotapes, only the top 20, and the top 5 are all instructional videos from Apocalypse Inc., apparently. How was it 11:45? As we're just trying to look at. Anyway, so Toxie shows up, kicks their asses, and I start to realize I think the first one's gonna have the most gore. Because towards the end it has some stuff, but there's really not much for gore. And the more I thought about it, the more I think that they had to they shot these back to back and had to split the budget. These came out the same year. So they had to split the budget to do two films, which is why there's not a lot of gore in this. Tits, mostly in the last one, but not really in this one. But, yeah. And so it kind of mimics the deep fryer kill, but he puts this guy's hand in a tape rewinding machine, which would not do what it does to this guy's hand. Also, we see it on a TV screen. How does that work? It's a tape player. Sticking your hand inside a tape player would not dismember your hand. It's not that strong. But it does that because this is that movie. And he kills the other two. I don't remember. He wraps one guy in. Hey, did I mention that the first one was breaking the fourth wall? Like it blew it up? There's no more fourth wall left to break. It's gone. Because there's a cardboard stand-in of the Toxic Avenger. When Toxie comes in, he stands in front of it. And somehow, these fucking idiots think he's a cardboard stand-in. until he starts beating him up and stuff. But that's not all. He takes a copy of the VHS tape, which might not actually be the VHS tape for the Toxic Avenger, because he takes off the sleeve, right? The box sleeve, and it's the other side of the tape, like the back side of the tape, like with the two little holes. I'm not gonna go grab a VHS. Actually, right here. I have a copy of Star Trek 5 right here. I found it in the closet because I have 2 copies of the thing. He basically unsleeves it, and it's this, and then he takes the tape out and wraps some guy around. There's not enough tape in here to wrap around the whole guy's torso. There's not that much, but I don't know. And with that, he defeats them. And it turns out this is actually mid-rise, because this is in the middle of the movie, and so we got a flashback to how all this happened. So like I said, Melvin, or Toxie, is now living a life with his girlfriend, but there's, they don't have, they're living off her welfare checks. Apparently, we find out that she used to be a dental hygienist before the accident. Made her an accident caused by mouthwash made her blind. So what? Someone go to spit and it got her face and turned her blind? I don't know. But so they're living off her welfare checks, and it's not enough. And then they get this letter saying there's a new kind of technology that could fix her eyes, but they need the money. So he's going to go get a job. So he becomes a sponsor for the Internal Revenue Service. That'll get you liked. In fact, I won't throw stuff at him. Nobody wants to talk to someone from the IRS. Are you kidding me? It doesn't last long. And then we catch up with the evil chairman of the Apocalypse Incorporated. Despite the fact that he was run out of town, he's still there. And we see a scene where he is informed of all the things going down, which is verbatim the same goddamn scene. And I don't mean that they're just running it back. It's the same scene. They just stuck the scene with everybody telling him how things are going. It's the same scene, and it cuts off at one point. It even has the guy who can't hear what's going on. Cigar Face is there, who, by the way, is the mayor now. I'm serious. Later, the chairman goes, "Thank you, Mayor Cigar Face." I'm like, Cigar Face is the mayor? This is getting ridiculous. Then later, he's dressed normal again, so I don't know. Maybe because he was taking over. I don't know. But this is all footage from the second film. I know, because the next time we see the chairman, when he talks about hiring Toxie, which is literally like 5 minutes after we see this scene, his hair is different. It's more grown out. Yeah, because they shot it differently. It's the same year, but his hair grew out since then. So, yeah. That's it. Yeah. But it's literally the same scene. It is no reshoots, no nothing. It is the same scene. I was like, wait a minute, this is the same. Clearly they were under their runtime, just added that to it. So, by the way, there is no mention of Melvin's father from the end of the second one. He's only one mention is later in the movie when Mom says, "You look like your father." But otherwise, he's not there. We don't see him. But the fact that he came back at the end of the second one, and these were filmed back to back, they decided not to include the character here for some reason. But Melvin is brought in by Apocalypse Inc. to work for them, or Toxie. He has a dream. Okay, I gotta mention this. He has a dream. He's been having nightmares. This is why he goes to get the job. He's been having nightmares. And the nightmares are of Melvin. The tutu wearing Melvin, which is played by a different actor. And when I saw this is when I realized, This is the one that I'd seen bits and pieces of before, because I remember that version of Melvin. It was like, and it's this dream where he takes him and he goes to, Melvin is slapping down and he grabs him and then he's taken into this dream world and he's falling forever and then he wakes up. By the way, Lloyd Kaufman, or whoever is your DP, director of photography, why are you so obsessed with Claire's crotch? There are so many shots of Claire's crotch. Like, there are scenes where they're laying in bed and it's shot like this, so that it's from Claire's crotch. It's focused in the freaking scene. Even later, during a scene where there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, a whole bunch of flashing before his eyes, Claire's crotch keeps popping up, and I'm like, what are we doing here? What is this? Like, there's like no tits in this. There's one sex scene, which again, Toxie and Claire, but she's completely covered up by the fact that she showed some tit in the last one. And she said, well, I won't do it now in this one, but I did in the last one. But this sex scene is even more. We'll get there. So, he ends up working for the evil chairman. He gets the money. This is exactly what he needs. She gets her eye operation, but her entire face is covered up with bandages. It would just be around your eyes. I've seen this before, but and then they start taking the bandages off, and then they just take the whole thing off. And the first face she sees is the doctor's, and they do the thing where, oh, Melvin, but it's kind of an opposite. She screams, oh, Melvin, you're hideous. No, I'm the doctor. That's Melvin. And she sees Melvin, the hideous mushroom creature he is, and of his face. And you know what? If they were taking this more serious, that could be something they would work on, right? Build the story around he's going to get the money, but he's going to get a job to get the money, but he's unsure because he's afraid that when she gets her eyesight back, she's not going to like him anymore. Build that up. This happens at, I don't know, 45 minutes in, she gets her eyes, basically. And that's that. Should be more focused on, he's not even worried that she won't like him for what he looks like. If you're asking me, it's something else a little down there. There's a reason why she still stays with him, but I'm just saying. But yeah, so of course the first thing they do to celebrate is to have sex. And this is where they have the they had fireworks and stuff flying out. I don't know, this is where most of their budget went, I guess, for this. But yeah, so he starts working for the evil chairman, and the evil chairman basically this is turning all the people of Tromaville against him, right? The Mayor Cigar Face stuff happens. Then he starts to realize all the bad and corruption that's going on. So he turns on him, and that leads to the scene where he beats up those guys. And he becomes a good person again. And he starts to realize that there's something bad with the chairman. And this is where we get the twist. When he confronts the chairman outside of the church, or whatever, Apocalypse Inc. building, we find out that the evil chairman is actually the devil. That's right. And he transforms. And this is where I start to realize they're really trying to run up that runtime. Right? Showing footage of the second film, putting that in there, adding time to it. There's so much in this last act of just, first of all, big long transformation for the chairman into the devil. Although the devil climbs out of the chairman's body, so is that a kill? I don't know. And then we do this 5 stages of whatever. The video game he was playing earlier. Melvin was. Everybody knows. Sorry. I don't have tissues. Gotta use paper towel. It is the quicker picker-upper. But, so he has to do 5 different stages of death, I think. First stage, Earth. So he gets buried in the ground. But it pops his head up, and then they pay... there's another fourth wall-breaking joke where the assistant lady is like, I'll give you $1,000 to mow him over. Wait, the budget of this movie is only $2 million. 30. I'll give you $30. They also mention Toxic Avenger 4, which does come about 11 years later, but but he bites the blade on the thing and spits it out, and it lands his other guy's mouth and breaks his teeth. There's that. So we go on to level 2, wind. And so he takes a bunch of kids in a school bus hostage, puts them up on top of a cliff, and he's going to have a big wind and knock it down. And this is where you start to realize that they're really trying to stretch the runtime. Because there are multiple shots of the audience going, yeah, it just keeps cutting back to them. And noise, it gets very annoying sometimes, the screaming and stuff. And everyone is everywhere, no matter where they go. They're just there. No reason for it, they're just there. And then the bus being put up on the thing is rewound shots of the later shot of it falling down. It is just reversing that shot, put it back up on the thing. That's all it is. I'm like, wait, what's that reversing from? And they show it, and it happens a couple times. Yeah, and then we get to level 3, water, and so he takes Melvin to a mud bog thing and throws him in a puddle, but he uses his sumo powers from the last book, because that still happened, even though his dad is no longer around. That's still canon, I guess, to come out and jump out of the water. The way goes, then we get to level 4. No, that is level 4, water, right? Fire. Fire was level 3, right? Or fire was level 2? Yeah, okay. So level 1 is earth. Level 2 is fire. And the devil lights himself on fire and he's going to burn down all of Tromaville. So Toxie pisses on him, which shouldn't work because he pisses toxic waste. So technically it should still be lit on fire, right? I don't know, but it works. And then we get the water, the wind and the water. And then level 5, which apparently no one has ever gotten to. I mean, he's there. Level 5 is the mind. He melts Melvin down, and what is that? Pretty decent effect for Toxie to get Toxie, I should say, gets melted down, and then is reformed into Melvin, which is why they recast him for that little thing. Yeah, and now this is the most annoying part because they have him. Mommy, Claire. And Claire tries to shoot the devil with a shotgun. He takes away her eyesight again. Glad you wasted that $375,000 on that. She does get it back, don't worry. So, Melvin does try to stop the devil, but he turns into his mom. And then Claire goes back to the junkyard, to their house, and finds the contract. And this is when I think they realized, wait, she's blind now. She can find a contract. Well, you see, Toxie made a braille one for her. Yeah, that's a rewrite for sure. It has to be. When they realized, oh, he made her blind again. How's she gonna get it? He made her a braille one. That's what it really seems like, right? Hold on. I'm at the tail end of my cold. It's still snot in there. It's at the tail end. I'm getting better. Much better. Anyway, so the contract says that it will be null and void if there's an act of God. Really? You couldn't come up with something that is more actually able to happen? But of course, right after this, an angel shows up and grants the act of God, turning Toxie back into himself, Melvin back into Toxie, and now he's able to beat up the devil for some reason. Earlier he tried and he got kicked across the yard. Now he can do it. And he beats up what is clearly a dummy that he picks up and slams around. It's clearly a dummy, but, you know, whatever. Excuse me. And then he rips off the devil's skin, showing worms and bugs and such, and there's a rat climbing around. He rips off the guy's head, and this is the only carryover from the first one, or from the second one, is there was a running joke in that one I forgot to mention of this Japanese reporter who would be talking to people and random stuff would just happen, like Toxie walking up and him screaming or other stuff. We cut back to that in Japan after he throws the devil's head in the air. He's talking, I'm guessing, because it's still in Japanese with no fucking subtitles, but I assume it's some sort of spray that regrows hair. Can I get some of that? He sprays this guy's head, which, by the way, is not going to work because it's so windy. Barely the enemy gets on it. But he sprays this guy's head, and the devil's head lands right on top. The guy freaks out, and the other guy's like, "Oh, hey, don't." He starts spraying it, and I'm just like, what? And then we cut back, and Melvin, or Toxie, I tried to separate them. Toxie and Claire are getting married. Happily ever after, the end. There's no thing at the end. I think this is supposed to be the end. So, but there is a fourth one, which I will be doing soon, sometime today. But yeah, this was fun. I like this better than the second one for sure. This was the one I always saw bits and pieces of, especially when I saw the Melvin one. But especially when I saw the guy turn into a devil, I'm like, this is the one. This is the one that I seen bits and pieces of that was on G4 back in the day, not the first one. Because I remember watching that, the first one, being like, I don't remember any of this. And even the second one, where's the second one? No. And when they showed that Melvin in this one, I'm like, this is the one. This is the one. So it was a Toxic Avenger 3 for some reason. Who knows? So, what are your thoughts on the Toxic Avenger Part 3? The Last Temptation of Toxie? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. What up?